Before we begin, the information provided is for general educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. It does not replace consultant with a qualified healthcare professional. If you have a medical concern, diagnosis, or treatment question, you should consult your physician or another licensed healthcare provider.
World, how's it going, man? We are here for another broadcast. Be sure to share this out, man. That's one thing that you can do for Breast Cancer Can Stick It that doesn't cost you anything is share out our broadcast, and it helps so much. It helps us get more followers, volunteers, donors, sponsors, all the good things. So please share out this broadcast tonight, man. I'm super pumped. We're coming off of a really great couple of weekends of events. Let's see, about a week and a half ago, we had our Mighty and Metastatic Music Fest, hosted by Max Strauss from our board, and it was amazing. All the bands were so awesome, especially Shake Me, featuring the Goddess of Thunder, Kim Lusk, who is my co-host for Mighty and Metastatic. She got up and jammed with her band, Shake Me, a tribute to Cinderella. It was so awesome. If you weren't there, man, watch for videos out there. It was just really cool. I did post a picture at the end of their show with everybody that was in the room because it was the most packed when Shake Me was playing. So cool. And then this past weekend, Friday night, Rock Candy played over at the Maverick, and we had our booth out there. A really great show that night. And then this past Sunday, we had our Beats and Eats event. It was so cool, guys. If you've never been to Beats and Eats, man, you're missing out. Such a cool event put on by the Women in Music Committee here at Breast Cancer Can Stick It. So a big shout out to all those folks, especially Bethany, for all the work that she did to put that together, man. And we have more stuff coming on here soon. All right, wait, I gotta say hello to some people. Debbie's in the house. Maria's here. What's up? Wanda's in the house. What's up, everybody? What's up? Again, share out the broadcast. Also, I haven't done this in a while, but tell me where you're watching from and tell me what the temperature is there, because I think it was like 103 here today. It was super miserable out. So down here in Dallas, Texas, it is very hot. So let me know where you're watching from and what the temperature is. I know, Wanda, I think you're down there in Corpus Christi. So be sure to tell us what the temperature is out there. All right, couple things we have coming up, man. The next Mighty and Metastatic broadcast will be on September the 1st. Super pumped about that. If you're not familiar with that show, it is hosted by myself and Kim Lusk. She's a bass player and a metastatic warrior. And we basically cover all kinds of different things that have to do with going through metastatic breast cancer. There's a lot of areas to cover: mental health, physical health, just a lot of different things about, insurance and hospice and palliative care and all the different things like that. So it's a really great opportunity to educate yourself about metastatic breast cancer, because a lot of people aren't very familiar with it, and it's something that needs to be discussed a lot more frequently. And then the next Beat broadcast is coming up September the 14th, so I hope you can be here for that. If you're interested in being a part of the show, all you got to do is submit at breastcancercanstickit.org/podcasts. That's breastcancercanstickit.org/podcasts to be a guest on the show. Basically, for the Beat broadcast, we're looking for survivors. So if you're a breast cancer survivor or have a friend that is a breast cancer survivor that is interested, have them submit the form on that page there. For Mighty and Metastatic, we're always looking for people who are either a metastatic warrior or someone in the health industry that deals a lot with metastatic breast cancer. I know at Beats and Eats this weekend, we had patient nurse navigators, and that's a really cool thing. I believe we're going to have a nurse navigator on here real soon. People aren't very familiar with those folks and what they can do to help out. Wanda says it's 89 degrees in Corpus Christi. Girl, that's nothing compared to here. Is it really hotter here in Dallas? I think it might be. That's freaking me out because Corpus is usually just sweltering. So I'm a little bit jealous of you right now. Speaking of Corpus Christi, look at that segue right there. You helped me right into that, Wanda. Coming up September the 12th, my band Just Like Pink, a tribute to Pink, is going to be playing at 5th and Elm in Corpus Christi. Again, that's September the 12th at 5th and Elm in Corpus Christi. It's actually Portland, just a little bit east of Corpus Christi. And I'm going to share with you guys something right here on this podcast right now. So if you're watching right now, listening to the replay, this is the only place this has been released at this point. I have not made a single post. I have not made an announcement about it. So you guys right now are going to be the first to hear this. So at the show on September the 12th with Just Like Pink at Fifth and Elm in Portland, Texas, we're going to have a very special guest. It's the longtime drummer for Pink, Mark Schulman, will be there with us. So be sure to come out to that. Again, that's September the 12th, Portland, Texas, right there by Corpus Christi, with Just Like Pink. Come out to that show. And if you're in the Dallas area, man, it is the best time to take a road trip, man. Let's go. We could just like caravan and do all that. It'd be a lot of fun. All right, Jana's in the house. She says, I'll do it again. I have so many great people in this community. Yes, Jana, that's so cool. I think that's Jane. No, it is Jana. I remember now. She's Jana. That's right. I remember. And Marie says it's 103 for. See, Marie, that's what it was here in Dallas too, is 103, which is just absolutely crazy, man. That's nuts. All right. We got our first guest is going to be coming up here in just a little bit. We've got a great show for you guys tonight. We've got breast cancer survivor Marie will be in the house. And then we're going to have Liz, who is the founder of Drum Chart Builder. Really, really cool stories to tell you about her career in the music industry out of Nashville and just what she's doing to help other drummers out there. So I'm super excited to share that with you. If you are a drummer or you have a drummer in your life, please share this with them. They're going to want to watch this broadcast tonight. Share this out to them, tag them in this post, have them come over here and listen to this broadcast. If you're on the podcast, get your drummer friends together and let them know as well. And I'm going to do a quick little commercial break, and then we're going to see you on the other side. We'll have Marie, our first guest. Check it out. There's this killer new way to help raise funds for breast cancer can stick it by shopping at Kroger. Simply sign into your Kroger account online, then go into Community Rewards on the left-hand side. From there, search for Breast Cancer Can Stick It, then select Enroll. That's right, you shop, Kroger donates. Enroll with Breast Cancer Can Stick It today. Check it out, there's this...
When women have a mastectomy for breast cancer, or they're planning to have a mastectomy for breast cancer, most women, not all, will want to know about their reconstruction options, which are implants placed, or tissue flaps. The deep flap, for example, which is taking abdominal fat tissue and transferring up to build new breasts for a woman. And the flap surgery is a lot more involved. It's a much bigger surgery, longer surgery. Implant surgeries are relatively less involved, less complicated. And but from what I see, I still see implants being used very commonly. But we see a lot of deep flaps or flaps taken from other areas as well. Some women don't have enough abdominal tissue. And so there are S-gap flaps, from the love handles, if you will, et cetera. There's different places that very cutting-edge plastic surgery centers can do. But basically, if a woman does not need radiation therapy, because many women after mastectomy, if lymph nodes were involved or if the cancer was larger, they need radiation even though they've had a mastectomy. And having an implant reconstruction in tissue that's already had radiation can lead to some fibrosis, some scar tissue around the implant, and it can become hard over time. Now, interestingly, for thin women, in my experience, they don't have very much scar tissue, fibrosis, inflammation after the radiation around the implant. So I've seen thin women or normal BMI women have good results even after radiation, because we don't radiate the implant. We radiate the expander, which expands the skin envelope, and then radiation happens. And then down the road, like 4 to 6 months, then the implant is placed. But the radiation causes scar tissue around the implant over time. But in normal BMI women, that amount of fibrosis is usually pretty minimal. So implants work fine. But for women with overweight or obese. Those women get more fibrosis around the implant. And so it's not, if they've had radiation, that is not usually a really excellent cosmetic outcome. It's usually not acceptable. And so for those women, the flap reconstruction is the way to go. So we do have a fair amount of radiation therapy that we give. And so that's why there is quite a bit of autologous, which means self flap surgery. But I think that the implants are still widely used. And I for one usually say, keeping things simple is a good thing. In medicine in general, the less we do, the better in general in medicine. So I still think implant surgery is a good way to go.
Did you know we have a recurring donation program? Go to breastcancercanstickit.org and find Beat and Repeat in the middle of the page. Select Sign Up. From there, select the amount you wish to donate per month. Be sure to check the box to make this a monthly donation. You may also choose to cover the cost of processing to make your donation go that much further. Select a donation payment that works for you. Thanks for scheduling your recurring donation. Breast cancer hasn't stopped, and neither have we.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us again tonight for this edition of the Beat broadcast. We are broadcasting across multiple social media platforms today, and then we'll also have this available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So be sure to tune in to all of our many channels and subscribe everywhere you possibly can and share out this broadcast. All right, guys, we're going to be welcoming our first guest of the evening. We've got Marie in the house. She is a breast cancer survivor. How are you doing, Marie?
I'm good. How are you?
I am awesome. So good to see you today. I was reading up on you and I learned quite a bit. It sounds like you were actually diagnosed at a very young age.
Yes, I was 32.
That is extremely young. And the diagnosis was, tell us all about it. I know it was triple positive. Tell us how it all came to be, how you got diagnosed in the first place.
So in 2015, I was laying in bed one night, hadn't done a breast exam on myself in probably a couple of years, honestly. Just didn't think about it. And one night I just had this feeling wash over me that said I needed to do a self-exam. And I did. And I'd had fibroids before, so I had felt lumps in my breast before, but this one was different. And you just knew it was different, but I didn't know it was that different. I reached out to my primary, who has been my rock. She is amazing, and told her what was going on. She actually couldn't confirm what I was feeling, but gave me the referral to oncology anyway. So that December, I went in for a breast mammogram, but I had been advised by many women to also inquire about getting a breast ultrasound as well. And it's lucky I did, I guess you could say, because the mammogram did not find my cancer, but the breast ultrasound did literally 5 minutes later.
And you said that you had fibrocystic breasts too, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And a lot of times, just for those watching, a lot of times it's best to have ultrasounds if you have dense breasts or fibrocystic breasts. It makes it a lot easier to spot things because it's difficult to see, like you said, in an ultrasound. So this was back in 2016, right?
The images were done in December of 15.
Gotcha.
And then I was diagnosed, I believe, January 24th of 2016. And on my 33rd birthday, February 9th, I had a bilateral mastectomy.
Goodness gracious. You said 33?
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
That's so young. And so you mentioned that you found this when you were doing a self-exam.
That's correct.
How often and how long had you been doing self-exams?
Well, I had done them off and on for a good part of my life, but like I said, it had been a couple of years probably since I had done one, which was just very negligent of myself. But life was just crazy, being single, just working 2 jobs and just trying to keep it going, and you lose track of things sometimes.
Yeah.
But I just had this weird feeling, and I did the exam, and then the doctor said I had ductal carcinoma, triple positive breast cancer.
Uh-huh.
And at that moment, he said I was 6 months from terminal.
What? Are you serious?
I'm very serious.
So did you? Okay, so you had it in more locations than just in your breast?
No, just my breast, but that's what he told me. And what was really eerie about that was initially he had told me at that exam, because he had come in and operated the Doppler himself as well. And he was saying that things look suspicious. And he said, I want you to come back in 6 months and we'll reevaluate. But on my way out of the hospital, he called me himself and said, I want you to come back in a couple of weeks and we're going to do a biopsy. And this is what the answer was. It's ductal carcinoma cancer.
Wow, that's so
if
crazy. Yeah.
we had waited, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
so
I'm glad you didn't. And you know, it's a real testament that you were doing your self exams on your own at such a young age, because I bet you so many women don't do that. You know, I don't think people start thinking about the possibility of breast cancer until they're in their 50s a lot of the times. And so, you know, especially since they keep moving around when you should start going to get mammograms and everything. What kind of inspired you to start doing self exams at such an early age? Was there something specific?
I thought it was always really important to try to stay in tune with your body. You know yourself better than anybody else, but there are other factors like Christina Applegate, for instance. She's a famous actress, has been around for a very long time, and she had a prophylactic bilateral mastectomy based on family history. And so it just kind of rang a bell for me and just made me really want to kind of pay attention a little bit more. And I had already made some decisions prior to being diagnosed as well, based on seeing her journey and just really thinking about what I would do in that situation. So when I was diagnosed, there really wasn't a question about what I was going to do. I, at the time, was a single mom, so I needed to get back to work and get back to being a mom. So I made the decisions I did based on that.
Wow. I'm so glad that you were so diligent, and what you said about like really paying attention to your body. I think that's something that people need to do more of just across the board. You know, it's really great that you kind of share that story, because again, so many people don't look at it like that. Either they wait till they're 50 and start doing mammograms, but they don't think about self exams. And the fact that you found it when you did, it was so incredibly important. So tell me, Marie,
Yes.
when you had your surgery, you had a double mastectomy. Did you have reconstruction?
I did not. I have not.
Gotcha.
I chose to, at the time, I was a smoker, so reconstruction wasn't even an option for me at the time, unless I was 6 months smoke free. And that was something that was really hard to give up at the time because of everything that was going on.
No kidding. Yeah.
So I just got closures and did my best to heal as fast as I could. I was working within a week, I think, of surgery because I really didn't have a choice. And I had my daughter back home within 2 weeks. She stayed at her grandma's because it was hard for me to lift heavy objects.
Wow.
And,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
for those watching right now, I mean, just tell them a little bit about like when you've had the double mastectomy, what that recovery period is like. Because I mean, it really is a lot harder, I think, than most people realize.
Yeah, you don't realize how much this space is connected to other spaces, and when you're trying to stretch or even breathe, just laying on your side feels awkward in the beginning, and like you shouldn't be doing that. It took quite a while, and in the beginning you'll have tubes that are called JP lines, and they'll be inserted in and out of your body with these bulbs, is what they call them, that hold drainage fluid to prevent infections.
Right.
And you have to maintain that for a couple of weeks, and it's a very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah. How many drains did you have, Marie?
I only had 2 drains,
Yeah.
luckily, and I had them out, I believe, within 10 days.
That's awesome. I was talking to
Yes.
somebody recently who told me that they actually had 4 drains. They were
Yes.
big chested, and I was not. I had two drains, and I only had to have mine in for like 4 days. That should tell you everything you need to
Oh,
know.
wow. That's awesome.
There wasn't a lot to drain. There wasn't a lot left to drain. So, yeah, it is uncomfortable. There's a lot of excess fluid and stuff that they want to get out of there after you've had a double mastectomy. And for those watching, they may not be aware, but they actually have like the hospital gallons have like a little pocket that you put the drain into.
Oh,
You
mine
could
did
actually
not.
okay, and
Uh-uh.
you could also like some people have the drains for like a couple of weeks, and so they actually have shirts that you can buy that have pockets for your drains, so you can be like walking around and not be so obvious that you've got this thing of fluid that you're carrying around. It's pretty crazy, but that's not fun at all. But the thing that struck me, Marie, whenever I had my double mastectomy was how hard it was to just like sit up from laying down. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yes.
It was like
Yes.
awful,
It's
man.
it's a different world.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to be again.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
it's a lot.
you just don't realize the muscles that you use to pull yourself up from laying down.
I
And
used one of those arm pillows.
uh-huh. Yeah. That's so awesome. Did you use did you have I keep getting ahead of myself. Your story is really interesting. I'm really fixated on the fact that you were so young and that you were so proactive about your health. And so I keep asking questions related to that. But let's pick back up where where you left off about that you had your surgery, and then you had your drains, and then what happened after that? You said you were back at work within a week, and your daughter was home within 2 weeks. But what other treatments did you have?
So I did 12 rounds of chemo after that, and then I started my crazy roller coaster journey on aromatase inhibitors.
Tell
And
everybody, yeah, tell everybody a little about that and what the side effects were for you.
Oh, good Lord. I was on several aromatase inhibitors. I can't remember all of the names of them right now, but it was either 4 or 5. I'm on tamoxifen now, which has been the best of all of them. And I struggled with extreme bone pain. At one point, I thought my hips were dislocated on one of the meds that I was on. Agonizing joint pain, just really hard to process and think straight because of the side effects of these pills from chemo. I have long-term memory loss, and I struggle with that every day. I have 24 alarms set on my phone for that. Another side effect from chemo, I lost all my hair, and then it came back super curly and super frizzy at times. And a lot of changes, and the aromatase inhibitors are there to suppress my hormones because my cancer is hormone driven. So they're important and they're necessary. And how do I say this? They can have other side effects though too than what I'm saying. It's just that what I had is what I had.
Yeah, everybody, it affects each person differently. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, some people with tamoxifen, like what I'm on now, and I've had great success, others will say that they're having bone pain or something like that. So, yeah.
And so you said that your hair grew back kind of curly and frizzy at times. I remember, like, for me, it felt almost like a rebirthing where like your hair is like starting over again, like my eyebrows never grew back to the same fullness that they were prior to chemo. Like it's just weird. It's like you're almost like starting over. It's strange.
Yes. Mine initially looked like Rod Stewart. It was just straight out.
Nice. Uh-huh.
It was something to look at. And then I had the curls, and the curls were beautiful, and they still come about from time to time. But I still have really good, strong hair. I just brush quite a bit out of it every day because of the aromatase inhibitors. But hopefully in November, I will be off of those, and that'll be my last med to come off of from cancer.
Wow.
After 10.5 years.
That's amazing. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you're still, I mean, obviously still seeing your oncologist and going. And do they like do tumor marker checks and things like that on you? Blood work?
Uh, oh yes, they do blood work. Now it's just annually, which will be November will be my annual visit. And once I come off that med, I'm not sure if it's still going to be annual or biannual. But I go to the VA as well, so they'll monitor the same.
That's awesome. And another thing that I was reading about you is that when you were diagnosed, I don't think we've mentioned this yet. You mentioned that your daughter stayed with her grandparents for a couple of weeks, but we didn't talk about how old she was. She was just 1.5, right?
Yes, she was very small.
Yeah. So talk about what that was like being a single mom with essentially a toddler and then going through breast cancer.
It was mind blowing, seriously, because it was about 2 weeks exactly from diagnosis to surgery. So it was a very whirlwind situation. I ran my own tamale business. I was still kind of still new to the area with my business, but it was a pretty decent business. And I really needed to maintain exposure so I could keep my business going, you understand, and there's nobody to take my place. And I had just enough money to really get my bills paid up, but I didn't have any money to keep my bills paid up while I was in recovery or anything like that. I reached out to organizations. They said they couldn't help because I wasn't in dire straits, that I needed to be basically on an eviction status to be able to get any kind of help. So because of that, I ran fundraisers. Some very gracious bar owners let me use their bars. Other businesses let me do car washes in their parking lots. Other businesses donated products for auctions or raffles. And I got money together like that to help us survive before and after my bilateral mastectomy.
Wow, that's so crazy because you're going through this cancer, diagnosis, and then you're trying to, fend for yourself to raise funds and everything. I mean, but the one thing I'll say is, communities are so great at pulling together for people in need, and it sounds like you really had a great support system around you.
Yes.
Yeah.
The West Side is really great.
That's awesome. Wow. So, how old is I guess your daughter now is 10 something, right? Or 11?
She's 12.
12. Okay.
Yes.
Have you guys talked now that she's older about your cancer diagnosis?
She knows. I mean, she knew back then. Just the initial time she tried to lay her head on my chest, she didn't land where she should have. And she knew something was off. She's always had some kind of sensibility about it. I've got a picture where she's kissing the top of my head where her hair is just barely grown back.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pictures.
Of course.
Yes, as she's gotten older, I've gone more in depth with her, but she's always known it to some capacity that I was ill,
right,
or having treatment of some kind. And now she's becoming a young lady, and so I definitely have those conversations with her about being familiar with herself and making sure that she pays attention and listens to what her body's telling her.
Yep, that is solid advice for anybody watching or listening to the show right now too. It's awesome. I'm really glad that you took such great care of yourself and made sure that you're going to be all right. I also remember there was something about your dog Zoe, and I just had to point out that I had a dog named Zoe myself. What kind of dog is it?
She's a red heeler mix. She's a rescue.
Okay, cool. I had a Boston Terrier named Zoe. When I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, Zoe puppy. I love it so much.
She is the light of our life.
Yes.
We just adore her. She's
That's
4
awesome.
years old.
Yeah. That's cool. So at the end, what did they end up? Did they tell you what stage you were, like, at any point?
Yes, I was borderline stage 2, and I also had genetic testing done.
That was the other thing I was going to ask. Are you reading my mind right now? Because I was like, I kept thinking, oh, I want to ask this question, and then it left me. So yeah, genetic testing. Tell us about the genetic testing that you had.
Yes, genetic testing was an eye opener for me. You go through a counseling session before you even get it done, and they kind of warn you about how you should be careful about having conversations around family members and such, because some people want to know their mortality and some people don't. I had never really considered that until I had genetic testing, but it did prove that I was genetically predisposed with an ATM mutation. And it also proved that I was not a good candidate for radiation, which I was grateful for, because I know how painful and frustrating radiation can be. I've seen so much on a couple of the forums that I'm on for breast cancer. And so I was really appreciative for that information.
Speaking of which, so it sounds like when you had your genetic testing was pretty early on after your diagnosis, so they kind of used it to determine treatment for you as well, right?
No, that is not true.
Okay.
I didn't get genetically tested, I believe, until almost 3 years after my diagnosis, because it took me that long to get my doctors to agree to it.
Okay. So by that time, you could have already had radiation or something. They didn't know that you shouldn't have it till later. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But the plan was to go through chemo. And if in the future I had any, problems.
I see.
Then,
they were going to, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for explaining that. I was like, wait, how's that work?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Totally okay. That makes complete sense. And I'm glad we're talking about this, because I want people to understand, the flow of things. It is different for each person. Some people have radiation and they don't have chemo. Some people have chemo and radiation. Some people have radiation and chemo. And then in the case that you're talking about, it was possibly a treatment option for later on, which makes sense.
Yes.
So did your doctor recommend that you go for genetic testing, or was that kind of your own doing?
I started the conversation and it took a minute to get them to approve it. I was going through the VA, and sometimes things can be really slow, really slow. And so between trying to do treatments and be a mom and run a business and all of that, my focus wasn't continuously always on trying to get that done. So we went out a few years before we got it done.
And how long ago was it that you had that genetic testing now? You said it was 3 years after.
I believe it was 2019.
Yeah, I was going to say 2019. It's so funny, Marie, because we were just had that event this past Sunday, Beats and Eats, where we had oncologist speak, Dr. Joyce O'Shaughnessy, and she talked about how frequently you should go back and check and see if you can get retested, because they're finding new genes all the time. I know that you already found yours. I don't know if you need to go back again. You could check with your doctor, but like every 5 years or so, they're finding even more genes that they could test against. The one that you mentioned, it's funny because when I first got tested, there was like 3, because I got tested in 2010. And so there's like 50 or something now.
Oh, wow.
And at the time when I got tested, it was basically like the BRCA gene and BRCA1, 2, and that was kind of it. But the ATM gene, can you tell us more about that? I'm not very familiar. I think most people aren't very familiar with other genes associated back to breast cancer except the BRCA gene. It's a pop quiz. Come on, you got this.
Yeah, so I can't say too much more than I am afflicted by it, and I am predisposed to a few other cancers, like a lung cancer, potentially melanoma, but the margins are small whenever it comes to that. But they just let you know that that's a possibility. But I couldn't give you the breakdown of the mutation.
Well, we're gonna ask our friend Gemini here, to see if we can figure out a little bit more about it. I'm trying to see how it relates. It says moderate is a moderate risk category to breast cancer, and that the lifetime risk for a person to have breast cancer is 15 to 30%. So you have a 15 to 30% chance of getting breast cancer if you have the ATM mutation. And then it says certain specific variants within genes carry a much higher risk, sometimes all the way up to 50%. I'm trying to see if it talks about other. It says it's moderately increased for risk for pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, and a few others. So that's interesting. And like I said, there's like 50 of them, so we can't possibly know how each one of them works. But
Yes.
for those watching, like essentially each gene that they're able to trace back to breast cancer, it comes back with like a certain percentage. So like this ATM gene, it's going to have, they said 15 to 30% chance of getting breast cancer if you have that gene. And then it'll have other percentages for pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, and the other cancers that are associated back to it. So it's funny because whenever they first started doing the gene testing, it was obviously for genes that the probability was much higher, which is why the BRCA one was so well known, is because it's a
Right.
higher probability for having breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and things like that. But it's good that this ATM one, it doesn't sound like that relates back to ovarian cancer. So a lot of times they talk about if you have certain genes, they want to do a hysterectomy. So it doesn't sound like
Yes.
that was a thing for you, which is cool.
No, but there was a conversation with an OBGYN oncologist on whether or not it would be beneficial for me to have my remaining ovary, because I only had one left, to remove it or keep it. And based on the fact that I have a hormone-driven cancer, it was more beneficial to keep my keep my ovary than to get rid of it because of my age. Once I came off the aromatase inhibitors, hopefully will have at least about 10 more years of my own natural hormones from that ovary to help with brain health and other parts of my body that those hormones help. So we chose to keep the ovary.
And a lot of people don't realize that chemo causes you to go into menopause. Did you go into menopause and have you come out of it?
I don't know that chemo caused it, but the pills did. The aromatase inhibitors did. And I've been, I guess, in menopause for 10 years.
Wow, such a young age too. Were you wanting to have more children?
I had a suspicion of uterine cancer a month after I had my daughter. So I ended up having pretty much a hysterectomy right after my daughter was born. So I already didn't have the choice.
Well, it sounds like you have a great daughter now, and that's such a blessing. And I'm so glad that you were able to have all that, before you were diagnosed with breast cancer, and gosh, so close to when you were diagnosed too. That's so scary. I know we only got a couple more minutes left. I have a couple questions left for you too.
Sure.
One of them was earlier you were talking about that you would have had to quit smoking. Did you quit smoking, or are you back smoking?
I quit smoking 2 years ago, last April Fools.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's huge.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It's a really, really big deal. And I know how hard that is. So
It was
congratulations on
super
that.
hard.
Yeah. I'm with you. I totally understand. I've been there and I totally understand. The last question I wanted to ask you, Marie, it's something that we kind of ask everybody who comes on the show. Can you tell us what was the best part about going through breast cancer? Like, what was your best takeaway from it?
That you can survive anything.
Say it loud and
This-
proud, man. That's awesome. Love
you
that.
can survive anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, I never knew it was going to take 10 years, of my life, but here we are on the other end of it and I'm still standing. So that says something.
That's awesome. You're an inspiration to those watching and to me. Marie, thank you so much for sharing your stories tonight. It means so much to us. And you got a lot of comments coming in, so be sure to go watch the replay and check out those comments. I can't hit them all right now, but Janine, I think your daughter has your account going right now. She's giving you props left and right. Jana is here. We've got a few other stories in the house. Lots of people. John is here. Everybody's sending you props, Marie. So thank you so much for being here this evening. And please keep in touch and let us know how you're doing. And can't thank you enough for being on the show tonight.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody, give it up for Marie, breast cancer survivor, sharing her story and diagnosed so young, man. It's crazy. But that is a great reminder to us all, man. Self-breast exams are so important no matter what your age is. So be sure you're doing that. I'm so glad that she was doing it and caught that so early. All right, guys, next up, we're going to have Liz. She is a graduate from the Berklee School of Music. She's the CEO of Drum Chart Builder, and I cannot wait for you guys to meet her. She's also a dear friend of mine. Excited to have you guys meet her. But before that, we're going to swing you over and show you a few more things. On the flip side, we will have her back here as soon as I can press enough buttons to make it happen. All right, we'll see you in just a minute.
Get
Check
ready
it
for
out. There's
Sunday
this
Fun
killer
Day.
new way
Join us Sunday,
to help
August
raise
30th
funds for
from
breast
12 to
cancer
8
against
p.m.
Stick
for an
It by
incredible
shopping
day
at
of live
Kroger.
music,
Simply
raffle
sign
prizes,
into your
a
Kroger
silent
account
auction,
online,
a merch booth, and
then
awesome
go
food
into
and drink
Community
specials.
Rewards on
Best
the
of all,
left-hand side.
every single dollar raised
From
goes
there,
directly
search
to
for
breast cancer
Kids
and
Stick
Stick
It.
It.
Then select
Mark your
Enroll.
calendars.
That's right. You shop, Kroger donates. Enroll with Breast Cancer Can Stick It today.
Hi, I'm April
Check
Singles,
it out.
a drummer
There's
out
this-
of Dallas, Texas, and the founder of Breast Cancer Can Stick It. I've been breast cancer free since 2010. We are here to amplify the metastatic warriors still in the fight. Alongside my co-host, the Goddess of Thunder, bassist extraordinaire, and metastatic warrior Kim Lusk, together we are the rhythm section for Mighty and Metastatic.
When women have a mastectomy for breast cancer, or they're planning to have a mastectomy for breast cancer, most women, not all, will want to know about their reconstruction options, which are implants placed, or tissue flaps. The deep flap, for example, which is taking abdominal fat tissue and transferring up to build new breasts for a woman. And the flap surgery is a lot more involved. You know, it's a much bigger surgery, longer surgery. Implant surgery is relatively less involved, less complicated. And but from what I see, I still see implants being used very commonly. But we see a lot of deep flaps or flaps taken from other areas as well. Some women don't have enough abdominal tissue. And so there are S-gap flaps, from the love handles, if you will, et cetera. There's different places that very cutting-edge plastic surgery centers can do. But basically, if a woman does not need radiation therapy, because many women after mastectomy, if lymph nodes were involved or if the cancer was larger, they need radiation even though they've had a mastectomy. And having an implant reconstruction in tissue that's already had radiation can lead to some fibrosis, some scar tissue around the implant, and it can become hard over time. Now, interestingly, for thin women, in my experience, they don't have very much scar tissue, fibrosis, inflammation after the radiation around the implant. So I've seen thin women or normal BMI women have good results even after radiation, because we don't radiate the implant. We radiate the expander, which expands the skin envelope, and then radiation happens. And then down the road, like 4 to 6 months, then the implant is placed. But the radiation causes scar tissue around the implant over time. But in normal BMI women, that amount of fibrosis is usually pretty minimal. So implants work fine. But for women with overweight or obese, those women get more fibrosis around the implant. And so it's not, if they've had radiation, that is not usually a really excellent cosmetic outcome. It's usually not acceptable. And so for those women, the flap reconstruction is the way to go. So we do have a fair amount of radiation therapy that we give, and so that's why there is quite a bit of autologous, which means self flap surgery. But I think that the implants are still widely used, and I for one usually say, keeping things simple is a good thing. In medicine in general, the less we do, the better in general in medicine. So I still think implant surgery is a good way to go.
All right, guys, I'm jumping out of that commercial break real quick. I'm going to spin something else for you guys. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty just a second ago, so we're going to rectify that right now. So I will see you on the other side here. Again, Liz is up next, so be sure to tune in. If you're a drummer or you have a friend that is a drummer, please tag them in this post. It's going to be killer. Can't wait for you guys to be. Not just full of technical problems tonight, guys. I apologize. I should have started off the night and just said, I'm not feeling well. Show me grace, because that's a fact, man. And I am bumbling all over the place. So for right now, I'm going to talk about a couple of other things. The first thing I want to talk to you. That's right. Drumathon coming up October the 25th at the Sound at Cypress Waters. That's in the Coppell area, so please be sure to mark your calendars right now. Drumathon 2026 coming up October 25th at the Sound at Cypress Waters in the Coppell area. It's right there near DFW Airport, so if you're out of town, perfect time to fly in and come straight over there. Really want to give a big shout out to the Sound at Cypress Waters for hosting the event this year. Really excited about doing it there, and it's going to be a great, great time, man. Cannot wait. All right, I'm going to get things organized over here for a second. I'm going to try to anyway. Wish me luck. I'm going to try to play something else here right now. I'm going to show you another image. Let me see if I could show you another image that we could talk about. Let me see here. All right, let's see how this works. 1 second. Yeah, we're having some pretty decent sized technical issues today, guys. Just saying. I'm gonna pull up the screen again and see if this will work. Hang on a second. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me this time. It looks like you should be able to. So again, Drumathon 2026 is coming up at the Sound at Cypress Waters in Dallas, Texas. It's near Coppell. It will be October 25th, so please do mark your calendars. Show usually starts around noon and ends about 7, and then we usually have an after party. And again, there'll be a celebrity drummer there this year, and we're super, super excited about that. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start working on getting Liz over here on the screen. So hang tight with me while I work that through. We had a couple of commercial breaks built in that seem to be having technical difficulties tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and work her into the screen while we're hanging out here together. So you're going to see me kind of like looking away. Hey, Liz, hang tight, sister. We're almost to you, man, I promise. 1 second. We got you. All right. Checking out stuff. 1 sec. Got it here. Got it there. And there we go. All right. 1 more second, Liz. I'm adjusting your screen a little bit on this end, and then we will be golden. All right, Liz, we're going to go live right now with you here on the Beat broadcast. So hang tight. And gonna unmute your microphone, and Liz is in the house. How are you doing, Liz?
Yes.
Hey, I apologize for that. We had a couple of commercials kind of plugged into the system, and there was an issue with one of them, and so it was just kind of replaying something over and over, and I was like, we gotta kill that. So I just came back, and we're kind of rolling right into you. So throwing you on the screen. Liz is in the house, everybody. Nashville, Tennessee. Woo woo.
Yeah, Nashville.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
You know, what's cool is this is not the first time I've seen you on Zoom in the last week.
Yeah, right. That's right. I know. So how did your gig go?
It went really well. So let me just fill in the viewers right now that are watching. So as you guys know, I play in a lot of bands here in Dallas, Texas, and a week ago today, actually, the bass player from Cooligans reached out to me and asked if I was available this past Saturday because they had a situation where they were suddenly without a drummer. And I was like, I'm available. Let's do this. And I know a lot of Motley Crue songs, probably 5 or 6 Motley Crue songs, but, you know, nearly 20 Motley Crue songs I don't know on drums. And, you know, I told them, I was like, you know, I never really grew up thinking, oh, I love Tommy Lee. I was he was just a drummer that I liked as much as all the other 80s drummers, really. But when it comes to playing the stuff that Tommy writes, it's such fun drum parts that he comes up with. They're very unique and different. So you got to be paying attention. So I remembered, of course, I always use my book that Liz that I bought from Liz.
Yeah, you bought. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I bought the book from her, and it's always been so very helpful to me. It's called How to Write a Fast and Easy Drum Chart, and it basically utilizes a system that Liz came up with. And I use the paper versions though, and I just use them for rehearsal. And so there are these really cool way to map out a song and make notes and be able to learn songs quickly. But because I was going to need these notes at a gig, I didn't want to be doing it on paper. So I went and purchased the Drum Chart Builder app for a subscription fee. It's an annual fee. And guys, she's not even paying me to say all this stuff. This is just like true, like exactly what happened. Okay. So anyway, so I downloaded the app and I needed a crash course fast because I needed to learn how to utilize it so that I could start using it for the gig that coming week. And you gave me a quick crash course in it, super user friendly, and it went great. And Liz, you remember I told you that I would have you to thank if I got more gigs out of that from them. And I got 3 more gigs this year with them. They have 4 left this year, and they already had somebody scheduled for one of them, and they booked me for the rest of the gigs this year. And that's thanks to you.
Oh my God, that's so great. That's what this whole thing is about.
I know.
Is just to nail the auditions. I mean, just write it out, learn what you have to learn, arrive prepared, and you'll land the jobs.
Yeah, it was extremely, extremely helpful. I can't even tell you how much, and I'm used to using an iPad at gigs and stuff like that. I didn't take the time. I'm sure I probably could have used a page turner, pedal with it or something like that. I even tried to do that. I just used my finger and swiped across and went through each song and really, really saved my butt. And in fact, I was writing more charts in the app today for another project I'm working on. So I'll be utilizing it a lot. So with that, I know that we sort of jumped into, the big, what I feel is one of the coolest things that you've got going on for sure is the Drum Chart Builder, that app. But there's a lot more to Liz than just that. I mean, you're a graduate of Berklee College of Music. You've been like a producer, you're an educator, you're an author. You've designed this software. You do a lot of things, and you have a 50-year career in drumming. So give us a little bit of background. I know I've got some pictures here from your past too. So talk a little bit about your past here, okay?
Sure. I mean, I start. It was really hard for women to be able to get to start to play drums to begin with. And so I was handed many different instruments before my father let me play the drums. And then by that time I was 15. See, so I started on you could say the late side, but I just never stopped after that. And I got involved with groups in my high school and I started touring right away. It's because of all the background that I had from all the other instruments that I was able to read music, and the director at my high school put me in these bands and we started touring, and then we got a record deal and I did a recording, and this is all before I was 19. So I was doing a ton of things, and then from there I went to the Berklee College of Music, and I was going when Steve Smith was there and all these other hot jazz guys were there. And I was like, I'm 18 and I get into the school, and it was just the most amazing 4 years. And I did graduate in 78.
I want to plug in for those watching, because the drummer community, definitely, we know who Steve Smith is, one of my favorite drummers. But for those watching, if you're not familiar, if you're not a drummer, Steve Smith, one of the big things that he's most known for was he was a drummer for Journey for many years. During some of their biggest albums, actually. So really amazing drummer. To be at the same place with him and learning music. Wow, Liz, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And we were studying with the same teacher, and it was really, I didn't really meet him much, but I was working with Gary Shafee a lot. And he was the teacher I really, really enjoyed working with. So that was in the 80s there. And after I got out of high school, at college. I mean, when I finally graduated college, I was joining bands and I was playing in the 80s. And after a while, we really wanted to sound like Journey, right? So that's when I started charting. And no one ever taught me how. I just created my own method because nobody was showing me how. And I wanted to play the songs just like the record. We wanted to be like a really great top 40 band. So in the 80s and 90s, I was doing top 40 and playing all over the place doing that. So that was the beginning of my career. We were doing original music too. In fact, that picture that I sent you, I wanted you to see that we were really a rock band with her. We were a trio, and I was in a band called The View in Boston for 9 years. We played as a group, and we were doing our own originals too. And at that time, we were wearing, our hair was crazy, we were wearing crazy clothes, and we were having a really, really good time. And, I don't know if a lot of people in their lives get to experience what it's like to be in a group that works together for years. And the camaraderie, I would never, ever want to ever miss something like that you work together with these people so hard and just to trying to reach the same goal together. And it's a great experience. And I'm still playing, and I have the other groups. I've been in about 40 bands since I started.
So you're bored, you never have much to do.
Yeah, I guess you could say, I know, just... if you feel funny if you're not playing.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
So
yeah, it's almost like something's the world is an imbalance or something if you're not playing.
Oh, exactly. But
Yeah.
we were playing everywhere, and I was, I had this really cool drum set. I was wearing really cool clothes, and we were in the recording studio, and we're doing all these really great things. So, my life really did terrific stuff. And then at one point, eventually, they start to fade a little bit, and I decided to come down to Nashville. And ever since I've come down to Nashville, the experiences have been terrific. I've worked with great bands. I've toured with all sorts of artists. But every time I do that, the way I was getting the gigs was I was charting out the songs. And so I got into this thing where I wanted to write a how-to book. And I remember... just because I like the idea of receiving money in the mail. I don't know, I was obsessed with that kind of thing. So I remember talking to somebody about wanting to do something and about writing a how-to book, and he said to me, what do you know that people would pay to know? And I thought, well, what do I know? I said, well, I know how to write a drum chart. So that's when the idea just was planted, and from then I would start to write the book after years of thinking about it. Finally, I wrote the first verse, the first draft. Do you want to see what that looks like?
Yeah. Let me pull it up on the screen. Hang on just a second.
I have it here.
Oh, you have it there? Okay. Hit it.
This is what the first book looked like. And it was like, it's really small. It was only like 20 pages, and it was all hand done.
Here, show it on the screen one more time if you don't mind. There you go.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, that was the first one that I wrote. And then, I was trying to sell this online. I was trying to sell it through ads. And then I decided, I want to write something a little bit bigger. So I made another version of it, and I added more pages and more charts, and I added an advanced section, and then this is like 56 pages. So then I decided, well, you know what? I want to get a publishing deal. So I was able to find a way to get to Alfred Publishing through another person told me, do this, do this. I went through a lot of different ways to get to it. When I finally got to it, I found the right person to send it to. So I mailed the book to them, mailed this one to them. And I didn't hear from the guy for like 3 months. And I thought, you know what? They have my book, and I've got to find out what they're doing with it, right? It's your property. It's in there. So I called them, and I said, who has my book? And they said, oh, this guy, he was laid off. And I was like, now that's the problem. So they connected me to another guy at Alfred, and he and I talked for like 30 minutes. And he said, well, wait a minute. Let me go over to I forget the guy's name, but he went over to his desk. And I kept real quiet on the phone. I could hear him ruffle through things. And then he goes, "Oh, here it is." And so I'm like, I'm trying to keep quiet, right? I want him to concentrate. Find my book.
Find your book.
Yeah, find my book. And he goes, "Oh, here it is." And so he starts to go through it, and then he goes, "Yeah, this is interesting. Let me talk to the salespeople, and I'll get back to you." And then that was the end of that conversation. A week later, I talked to him. He goes, "They want to go with it." So that's how you get a publishing deal.
That's so cool. Well, I mean, the thing is, though, is you don't give up. I mean, it sounds like each time, like, you did something and then you're like, no, I want to do this, and you went and did it, and then you're like, no, I want to do this, you went and did it, and then I want a publishing, and like, you just don't give up. Like, you have your goals and you chase right after them, and you don't give up. And look what you've done. So you got this publishing deal.
Right, I got the publishing deal, and then they made this, and this is what everybody's been buying. See, and I have.
That's the one I have.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is the one that it finally came out, and I was working with the publisher and the editor, and all the words of my own. So they mostly organized it, but I had it pretty organized. And when I've got a degree in music education. When you've been taught how to teach, you can organize things. So anybody out there that is a teacher, you can write a book too. Easy. So I took that. All right. So now I've got the book.
So what year was it that the first book came out, and then what year was it that last one came out?
Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, I tell you, this was it's like, I think it was 2014 or 15, and then no, it was like 2010, because I took this book, and before I got the year before I got my publishing deal, I sent a course to PASIC about doing this book, and I got accepted, and I did a presentation at PASIC in 2011.
Tell those non-drummers what PASIC is out there.
Oh, the Percussion and Arts International Conference, and they have it every year in Indianapolis. It's a giant drumming conference. It's really terrific. Lots of teachers are there, and then it's really an honor to get chosen to be able to do a presentation there.
That's huge.
So I hadn't even published yet, and they let me come in and do a whole clinic on this book. And then the next year is when I got my publishing deal. So I wasn't even published at that point.
Wow.
But I was pursuing, getting it out there is like, hey, this is an easy way to, get more jobs, play better, understand the music better. This is my goal, was to help people, land better jobs, play with confidence like I was. I was feeling that, because I could tell you a million stories of the auditions I've had and the ones that I've landed because I was prepared when I got there.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's funny because used to, when I would work on music for gigs, a lot of times I'll get shows with bands that are like a variety cover band, and so most of the stuff I've played at one time or another or whatever, and so I just sort of do like a refresher and I play through it or whatever. But like this particular gig, it was stuff that I had never played before, I'd never even listened to, and I spent way more time. What I mean is I'd listened to all the music. I have all the Motley Crue albums, and I've listened to all of it, but I've never like focused on the drums. I just right. rocked out when I was a kid and was like, yeah, woo, and so I had never really listened to the actual drum parts to know what's going on there, and to be able to write it out and get so much more comfortable with it and gain that confidence, because that is, to me, that's like 90% of the deal when you're playing a gig is the confidence. It might even be more than that. It might be 98, because if you have the confidence, then you're gonna do good. If you have that slip where the little devil guy on your shoulder is yelling in your ear and trying to screw you up, then you'll slip. It's confidence, and having the drum chart builder there to help you through it is so amazing. So after you got the books out, obviously everybody's doing apps and stuff like that. So
right.
So tell us how that came to be.
Well, I was teaching a student of mine, and he came in with his iPad, and he goes, all my books are now on my iPad. And then it hit me really big. I said, oh my gosh, I've written this book, and now I feel responsible to make it into an app. So then I started to working on sketching it out, and that's what I've sent you some sketches. I don't know if you can look at that.
Yeah, let me
I
bring them
sent
up here real quick.
it's actually number 3 that I sent you. It's a drum chart builder blueprint. It was like I drew it like on a napkin in a way. It's just a piece of paper. I just drew it out.
We're showing it. We're showing it on the screen right now.
Okay, so it's really, it's a real sketch that you would probably, like writing lyrics. You throw them on a napkin, and I wrote that out because I woke up one morning and I said, I know how I'm going to do it. And then the next one you'll see, it's the 4th one. It's showing how I started to make out. I wanted the app to have patterns that had a preset library in it. So after you've counted out your song form, you can choose what patterns you need without having to build them. Because everything to me has to be fast. So the next one is that. Are you showing that?
Yep, I got that on the screen right now. The pattern editor is on the screen right now.
Right. You see the notation builder window?
Uh-huh.
I designed that too.
Uh-huh.
And because I wanted the notation, the pattern editor to be like a graph, or not a graph, but more of a grid type. And so I designed it that way. And then the next page shows you how, this is what I was showing developers. It has the drop-down menus. I wanted a metronome. I wanted an MP3 player. I wanted, the preset drum patterns to come up in a window that you would just choose and it would drop in. I wanted everything to be drop-down menus, and just to make it all fit on everything was to make it fit on one page. That was the whole idea, because one page fits on an iPad.
Yeah.
So that was the next step. That was the final step. And then the 6th picture is of the pattern, the notation builder, the pattern editor. So I designed it this way, and I finally found a developer that built it that way. So that's what it is in this drum chart builder now, to build your patterns. So there's a grid that you can work off of, and has all the subdivisions and everything. So you can build your own patterns, and they play. And that was really important, so that you can hear that.
Wow. I see. I haven't even tapped into all the different elements of the app. I've just been working with just the chart part, so I haven't even seen this part yet. This is really cool.
Oh, it's really neat because the patterns are so easy to make, and then you can save the patterns in your own library, or use the preset library I put in there, so that you can just choose the pattern really, really fast and put it into your chart. Because the chart is really a map of the whole song. And so I've given you all the tools to be able to count out a song in real time, and use the drop-down menus to choose the song form, and then start counting out the bar measures as you go through it. So each chart, should take you only 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how long your song is, to chart out the map. Then you go back in again and you write in any information that you need, so that you'll know what to play during those particular song forms.
Yeah, that was the thing, like I started to say earlier, and I lost my train of thought there, was that normally I just put the music on and start playing, and I'd take notes as I go, kind of thing. And I spent more time like working with just listening to the song and writing it out and studying it. I did more of that than I did of actually playing, because it's that preparation that makes the playing part easy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So
well, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So if you have just a map and just some basic grooves, then you've got it all. You have to know how it starts, what's the tempo, and you have to know how it ends. The middle part you can figure out as you go.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's so funny, because I was telling our producer today, I was like, I can't believe that we've had you scheduled for today for a long time, and you and I just did all this last week. So the timing is impeccable. It's so awesome, because I can really speak to the how important this app is, man. And I can't stress it enough. Liz was going to come on here tonight, and we were just going to talk about her app, and I knew it was great. She showed it to me, but I'd never actually gotten into it this deep before, and it really is a great tool. So if you're a drummer out there or have a friend that's a drummer, you guys got to tag them in this. And I really do want to show some of the stuff that I worked on. And I mean, I know you can't. Yeah. I know you can't see it on your end, but I can show it over here to folks and talk about it for a second because it's just kind of fun. So let me.
Oh, it is. You know, I did send you. We just added a feature of sharing charts and set lists. And I shared the song Seasons because I went on your YouTube channel and I found you playing the song Seasons.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I charted it and I sent it to you.
There it is. I see it on the screen right now. And I'm sorry, I don't know if you heard earlier, but I haven't been feeling well today, and so Izzy was sending me stuff earlier, and I just didn't have a chance to get through all of it. But I see it on the screen right now.
Yeah, and that's why I sent it that way.
Yeah,
so you would have it.
I'm gonna share it on the screen for those who are watching right now to see. So, what she's talking about is there's a song called "Seasons" by the Veer Union. It's a great song, man, and you use your chart method to write out the parts.
What you played.
Yeah, what I played. Yeah.
Right, and I if you take the video, I sent a link for the video. You can watch yourself play it and then look at the chart. I used to put them both on the screen so you can see them next to each other.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. That is so awesome. Man.
So you can see what you did.
Yeah,
and how I charted it. You know, I put in certain feels that you were doing. I put in the important things. I don't necessarily write out drum fills. I just write the word fill because you don't need it.
Yeah, as long as you know the length of this fill and there's how many bars it is or whatever, how many beats. That's all you really need to know. And people sometimes get a little specific, I guess, if you're doing a tribute and it's like trying to be just like the album.
Right.
But this is so cool because I love it when people write out what I've played. It makes me feel like a better drummer because it looks cool on paper.
It looks cool on paper, right? And I'm like, look what she had to play it now. And I was looking at it going, oh no, I have to chart this. And you start doing that thing on the toms. I'm like, oh my God, I got to figure this out now. But then I realized that it's not that hard.
Right.
But it looks impressive and there's the notation. And then when I played it back to myself, I programmed it's a 2-measure drum fill in the beginning. And I played it back and went, oh, that is what she did.
Yeah, that's a cool fill. That song is a really cool song and fun song to play. That's why a lot of those songs that I did videos for that are on the Breast Cancer Can Stick It YouTube channel is because I just love those drum parts. There's some connection.
I figured you did.
Yeah, it's very cool. Well, I have what I've been working on recently that I was going to share and just like actually show them like where I click through the charts that I've built. So like you guys who are watching right now, you may have seen me play with Cooligans this past weekend at Fat Daddy's, and everybody here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area knows who Cooligans is. They're really well-known Motley Crue tribute band. I was super fortunate to get a chance to play with them and got more gigs thanks to Liz out of this one. And so I'm sharing the screen right now and showing my set list that I made. You can see that it's got the band name, Cooligans, the venue name, the performance date and time, all up there. And then it's got each one of the charts linked in this set list. And as you click on each one, you can see the details for those. Now, I was in a big old hurry, and some of the stuff I didn't have to note how many bars it was or anything like that because I'm familiar enough with the song, or maybe I didn't even put that many notes in there. But you can see that I did go through a lot of times, and I'll put how many bars for each section and have small notes. I write out some fills so I don't forget what those are like in certain spots. And this was just so helpful in playing this past weekend. It was incredibly helpful. So I'm showing them different charts right now. I just showed
excellent.
I'm showing 10 Seconds to Love right now, and it's just a really, really, really cool tune, or a really cool program. And I was actually working on some stuff today. Let me go back to this one here. So I was actually working on some new charts today. So you can see this is I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. And you can see that I've filled in some of the spots here. And these are songs I don't know nearly as well as some of the Motley Crue songs. So I really am counting out every measure, and I'm doing all that work ahead of time so that when I go play it, I just play it. You know what I mean? It's that simple. It really is. This is perfect timing, Liz, because I could just totally nerd out on this right now.
You know, I've been loving playing the drums for 55 years, really. And
Yeah.
I love technology and I love software, and I think that's why I kind of went that route. But whenever I finally, sometimes in my, my years here, as I've gotten older, I kind of go, I don't want to do this anymore. And then someone will say, well, will you do these charts for me? I'm like, yeah, I'll do your charts.
Yeah, that's like the fun part. It's like,
I guess I love analyzing songs and trying to figure it out. I guess I love the puzzle of it.
Yeah.
But I love knowing, I'm really understanding how a song is built. And it's not brain surgery. It's really simple. When you chart a lot of songs, you'll start to see how a song is actually built. So it's not a mystery. There are a lot of them built the same way, especially in country music.
Well, and rock music too. Yeah.
I wound up in a country band when I moved to Nashville because I'd only been here 6 weeks. I wound up in a band, in a country band. It was me and 5 guys. So I had arrived 6 weeks later. I'm in a band and I'm going to Chicago. And they handed me 96 songs on 6 CDs. And they said, learn these songs. We're leaving in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what happened to me when I came to Nashville. So I started charting, and I charted all 96 songs in 2 weeks, and then I was gone.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, that was the most wonderful time. I was prepared and everything. That was okay. But when I got in the van, and it was a giant van with a 30,000-pound trailer that we were pulling, and these guys jump out of the car, they take my stuff, they throw it in the van, and they go, come on, let's go. And I get in the van, and my whole body relaxed and said, you're finally doing what you've always wanted to do.
That's so awesome. Living the dream.
And here's the funny part. It's like, I said, all right, you just got in a van with 5 guys, and supposedly we're going to Chicago, and supposedly you're going to be playing on the road with them for a while. It was really funny. I'm going through this whole scenario in my head, and I felt I didn't worry. And we did exactly what we were supposed to do. I got to Chicago, we did the gig, packed up, we went to another state, and I was traveling all over the U.S. It was just great.
That's the dream right there. I was talking to somebody earlier, Lori actually, and I was saying how drumming is living the dream. Like if you're a drummer and you're getting to drum every day or most days, then that's living the dream, no matter how you're doing it. If you're touring, if you're playing local gigs, you're recording in the studio, you're playing on TikTok, whatever it is, if you're getting to play drums every day, you're living the dream, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were playing 6 nights a week, and it was just exactly what I wanted to be doing. I came down here to play, and there I was playing, and I went from playing to 30 people in Massachusetts to coming to Nashville and playing in front of 3,000, within, a week. So it did a job on my stomach, but it was a great thing. It was just great. This is what I wanted. Yeah. I was put up on a big stage. Everybody was going, oh my God, she's got a female drummer in your band, and it was really a great time. And I really enjoyed that time being on the road. But that's not the only band that I was on the road with. I've done other things too. But that was, when I first arrived in Nashville, just doing, getting what you wanted exactly was really rewarding.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did that.
No doubt. So what year was it that the Drum Chart Builder app came out, Liz?
2017.
Yeah. So it's still, I mean, I want to say it's fairly new, but I guess it's not. It's like, to me, the last 10 years have been.
This is a new version.
Gotcha.
The first one came out was a lot simpler version.
Uh-huh.
And then I decided I couldn't get it in the App Store with the first version. So I had to find the right developer, and that took time to find someone that would understand your vision. I went through so many different developers, and finally I found this one guy who's a business guy, And I said, it's got to go in the App Store, it has to go into Google Play, and it has to be a web app. And he goes, okay. And that's what he did. He built that.
Yeah, and it's really cool. And like you explained to me, the other thing that made me spend more time with the song was you were like, it's better to do it from a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was kind of wanting to rush to the end, you know, so I wanted to have my iPad, I wanted to be sitting at my drums, and I wanted to be putting it in and then playing. But it really honestly ended up making a lot more sense to sit with the songs for longer and go through each song one at a time, map it out, make my notes, and then go sit down and just play it. Because a lot of times, if you're playing the song and you haven't studied it in advance, then you'll just play through something and maybe not realize it, or you'll have to go back and try to fix it, and then you've already played it wrong once. And it's like, just play it right the first time by, mapping it out like this. It's very cool. Yeah, exactly.
I'll take my iPad. I mean, I'll spend the time on my computer to write out the song, and then I take the iPad with me. And I've been doing session work. So I go out there, and I've already charted out what they want me to play. But then during the session, they say, no, we want you to change this, do this. So I take the iPad with me in with the producer and sit there and change everything on my iPad. And it worked great. And the chart is so clean because you're not erasing anything because it's not on paper. And so I felt that it's just a cleaner way to look at the chart. And I just made all their changes right in the control room. I was sitting here making the changes.
Right. And to explain it further, because this was one of the coolest aspects of it, I also use an app called Tempo, which is it's a click track, and you can make set lists and have the different tempos for each song. And it's really cool. And the thing that I like about it is you can create the set list on any one of your devices and then share it with your other device. But you have to actually airdrop it to the other one. With your program, what's so cool about it is that I'm making changes. I was sitting backstage making some changes after we did sound check, and we talked through some things because I didn't know how they were going to end a couple of songs. So I had to make changes. So I brought my laptop, sat backstage, made those changes, and right as I make the changes, it updated on my iPad because I'm logged into the same account. And that was just, I don't know, that was just like something I wasn't expecting. I know you had told me that it would do that, but I was just like, that's so cool because I always have the most recent copy. It's almost like using Google Docs or Google Sheets or whatever. You update it in one place and you're logged in with the app with your ID, then it updates over there as well. And so it's just so cool to know that, hey, I can access my charts from my laptop, my iPad, my phone, or any device I have and get to it. And if I need to make a quick update, I can make it on the fly from any of those devices.
Exactly. Yeah, make sure you're
so
online for that because it updates it online.
Yeah.
Though the app does work offline, and I love how it works offline. It really locks it in. But once you get online, it'll update everything. So
Gotcha.
you have to look at it that way. But
yeah,
I used to play with it. When he first started making it, I was playing with it. I would change it on my computer, and I'd watch it change on the iPad. I'm like, wow, this is really fun.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's really awesome. It's funny. I swear, I bet people think I'm doing an infomercial here. I swear I'm not. This is just, you guys got me right at the right time because I don't know how else to say it. Liz saved my ass last week.
I am glad to help.
Yeah.
I try to I'm support right now. So when people write me, I know that they're panicking and they're trying something and they've got a gig coming up. So I try to respond as fast as possible and solve your problem as fast as possible because I'm a user too. So I'm going to the gigs too, and I'm seeing things that might be wrong or something's happened, and I know what's going on. I can see it, and so then. But the thing is, what I can do is I can talk to the developer and say, "Hey, look, this happened. Can you fix that?" And he goes, "Yeah."
That's
in fact, I even can contact him at a gig. I just text him on my phone. It's really neat. He's a really cool guy to be working with.
It sounds like you got a great guy that you found to do that work for you.
Yeah, he had the business mind, and he changed my whole business model. That's why this version is different. It's a different business model. And he keeps adding features. We keep adding. In fact, we are adding the air turn feature now.
Oh, cool.
That-
So this is what we're talking about with the page turner and stuff. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're working on that now. I'm getting the air turn pedal in a few days, and then he'll update the. I can't say exactly when. It might be a couple of months because I have to test it. I have
Yeah.
to make sure it's working right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are adding that.
Using those air turn pedals at gigs are so helpful. I use that for that tempo program. I also started utilizing a track program called Easy Performer, and it does videos and it does just audio tracks. And the air turn stomp works with both of those apps as well, and it's really seamless when you're playing to be able to switch songs, with your foot while you're like ringing out another song. No one knows you're doing something with your iPad. You're just kind of got your left foot and you're pushing buttons, and no one can see that you're doing anything, instead of like touching a computer screen or using your finger to touch the iPad screen. So having that pedal is going to make a big difference for sure. I think I took a picture and sent it to you, didn't I? Where I had my iPad mounted like just to the left of my snare, so it was like really, really close, and I could just take my left hand and easily swipe back or forward or whatever on the screen. There was, I think, when I first started using it, Liz, because I've never used it at a gig before. I think there was like the second or third song in, I forgot to switch to the next one. I was like, oh crap! And then I'm like trying to figure out where I am on my chart. I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah, right. Right.
But I figured it out, so it was cool. I really like it a lot. I just realized we're already at the end of time. We filled that all up so quickly.
Whoa.
I know, man. It's cool though. But yeah, man.
Did you see my picture of me in the 80s?
Yes, I showed that on the screen of
Oh,
the
did
view.
you? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's how I used to be. I used to do drum solos every night, and I'd stand up on the drums. I mean, it was crazy.
I'm showing you right now. You've got like a feather, like white feather-looking vest on or
that's
something.
an ostrich feathered vest, leather pants, feathered earrings, zebra shirt, and we used to spray paint in our hair. And
that's awesome. Spray paint in your hair, because that was way before they actually had other stuff you could. Right.
We were a trio, and we all sang, and we were a trio, and we played rock, and we're playing all over Boston.
That's awesome. That's so cool, man. That is so really cool.
Neat. It was a great time in my life, I must say.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm going to see you next month. I think I was talking to Janine and Aquarius. I think you've got like a gig coming up that's going to be near that Josie Music Awards festival, and so we're planning to come see you.
Gotta do that. You can sit in, be fun.
Oh, that'd be so cool. It'd be a blast, man. That would be so much fun.
It's a really relaxed place, and we play Americana rock music.
Cool.
A lot of originals, our own originals and stuff. But
very cool.
Yes, it would be so great to have you there, and you gotta have all of you there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, fun.
I'm excited to have a good visit. We're gonna get to see a lot of people while we're there. We're staying a few extra days to touch base with folks. We're still planning to have Drumathon in Nashville next year. As you know, we had a bypass this year due to the loss of my dad and everything. But we're going to get back on it for 2027. So we're really excited to really step in hard to the Nashville community and start helping folks there. So really looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you again.
Yeah, man. We're going to have a great time. Well, thank you so much for joining tonight, Liz. And everybody be sure to check out Drum Chart Builder app. If you're a drummer out there, check it out. If you have a friend who's a drummer, I know a lot of people who watch our show have friends that are drummers too. So be sure to share this out and tag your favorite drummer in this broadcast, and share out the broadcast too. And be sure to check this out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as any other one of our social media channels. You can watch the replay from the start if you came in late. So thank you so much for joining, Liz. I hope you have a fabulous night, and I hope to see you. We'll see you very soon.
All right. Thanks so much, April. See ya.
Take care, girl. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody, give it up for Liz. So awesome. I just think it's so cool that we had her scheduled for tonight, and I just happened to have that crash course last week, because I'm all pumped up about her app right now. Seriously, I am. I've been showing it to everybody. My singer was over today. I was showing it to him. He's like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And we were making tracks, and I was like, hey, while I'm making the tracks, I can make my chart at the same time, because I'm putting cues in where it says verse, and I'm having to count out how far before the chorus. And And so I'll always just update my charts at the same time. So it's been really cool to have that availability to do that. So anyway, guys, man, we have a lot of stuff coming up here. Again, we've got Mighty and Metastatic coming up on November the 1st. That's myself and the Goddess of Thunder, Kim Lusk, our Metastatic warrior, will be in the house. And then we're going to have on the 14th will be the next Beat broadcast. It's going to be on a Monday this month because I'm going to be headed to Nashville on the 15th. So we're going to have it on Monday, September the 14th. Also want to remind everybody that we've got a Sunday Fun Day coming up on August the 30th. Sunday Fun Day is coming up at Two Brothers in Plano, Texas. That will be an all-day event. I believe it starts around noon. Lots of great bands are playing that day. Please, please come out. We're raising funds to fight breast cancer, as always. And this is being put on by Max again. He's on our board of directors, and he always loves to do this event to raise funds for his Drumathon fundraising page. If you haven't registered for Drumathon, I can't believe I haven't pushed this enough. Drumathon, we're starting so late in the year, guys. Between the however many of us are watching or listening right now, I was so spent this year because I spent a lot of time taking care of my dad, and then he passed away, and now there's just so much to do since then that I'm just very, very busy, and I don't have a lot of cycles to do nearly the work that I normally do for Breast Cancer Can Stick It. And I was ready to just say, let's just skip this year. I just can't, And I just want to give a big shout out to our board of directors who were like, no, we're doing Drumathon. There's never going to be a year that we don't have a Drumathon. We're going to all pull our weight and make this happen. So Drumathon again, October the 25th, the Sound at Waters, rather. I keep doing that. The Sound at Cypress Waters in Coppell near Dallas, Fort Worth International Airport. You can check it out. It's a very cool venue. It's an outdoor venue, big stage that kind of sits on the water there. It's going to be just a lot of fun. But what I want you to do tonight, man, is I want you to register. Go to drumathon.org/register and register and create a fundraising page and help us raise funds. And it is particularly important this year because we are literally starting months and months late. Due to the setback with going through my father's death and everything. So it would mean the world to me if each and every one of you guys out there would take a moment, create a fundraising page by going to drumathon.org/register, create a fundraising page and share out that page and help fundraise as fast as humanly possible. We want this to be as good a year as any. Drumathon.org/register. Please, please, please register to fundraise and help us hit our goals this year. I created a fundraising page, but I haven't done one thing to start raising funds. I'm just so deep in some estate stuff that it's very intense. So if you guys could help out and fundraise this year and let's just get it done together. Okay. Drumathon.org/register, register to fundraise. Doesn't matter if you're a drummer or not, you can register, fundraise, and win prizes. So please do that for me today. Drumathon.org/register, and the date again, put it in your calendar, October 25th, the Sound at Cypress Waters. Hope to see you guys there. Okay, guys, that is it for tonight. I will see you guys really soon. I'm going to go take some medication and lay down because I've been feeling like crap all day. But I appreciate you guys being here, and we will catch you next time here on the Beat broadcast.